programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. So, figured I should spend a little more time doing some truly new and interesting figures. End of the day, as much as I love talking about the old figures that I missed out on as a kid and I'm only now getting to explore, once in a while gotta do something new, gotta make, algorithms and stuff happy, because end of the day, channel has to do well for me to keep doing this at all. But today we're going to look at an actually pretty good new figure. That is Studio Series 86 Hotrod. Now, I love this figure, but I also completely understand the bit of controversy around this figure. So, get this out of the way. This is a figure being sold at a Voyager price point. This is a Voyager class figure. Yes, I know this is from, a few lines back and stuff, but it's the one I have handy. Notice the size discrepancy here. Yes, Hotrod is quite small to be sold as a Voyager figure. This is the reason why I mentioned in my Transformers dictionary video, it's about price point, not size point. And this guy does quite a few things to try and earn that extra $10 on his price tag. Whether he succeeds is very personal preference. I think he does. If nothing else, I'll kind of meet in the middle and say he should have been 25. Make him a little bit more expensive. I don't know about going the full step. Either way, though, yes, this is a pretty cool figure. So, as you can see, he's got his, weird sci-fi, sports car look from the movie. Because of my bright lighting, you can see, yes, his face is actually in the windshield, which is pretty funny. I kind of like that. Really sleek design on this. This looks really good in my opinion. Back's not as clean, but with the spoiler and stuff, you really only see it if you're looking for it. Underside is a little obvious, but not the worst thing actually. So I gotta give some love. Yeah, I like this vehicle mode quite a bit. There is storage for some of his accessories here. So I guess really quick, we'll look at some of the accessories before we look at them again. He comes with blaster number 1, blaster number 2, which is just a little bit different, but they are different. And he comes with a saw blade hand thing. So the way you store these in the vehicle mode is you take these little tabs here, tab them into the side right there on the buzzsaw. Either side works. It's got them on both sides. And then you can either tab them in back here or right there on the engine block. The back tab here will also work in robot mode. So that's more what that one's for. Yes, these do like to pop apart when you do this quite often. You can peg them in either way. Works a little bit better on this back one if you peg them in facing that way. And just to say, I did it on camera, so that no one can say I didn't. Well, I guess you can say I didn't, but you'd be lying at that point. That's how it looks on the front. Weapon storage looks really bad, all the ways that you do it. He also comes with the Matrix of Leadership. It's a really nice little Matrix. I believe it's the exact same mold as Earthrise Optimus. I will double check and edit that in. But nice little Matrix. He doesn't have a Matrix chamber, so no, he can't actually store that. Blast effect for the Matrix. We'll look at this later. as well as 2 other little blast effects. Now you can either go ahead and put these on his blasters, or the ends of all his little exhaust stacks here are also blast effect compatible. So you can go ahead, figure out, which one you want it plugged into, do that. Plug it on the front ones here, which is a little more for robot mode, but again, options, things you can do. Quite a bit of playability in this guy, which is why I think he earns his price tag, as well as a really, really next level transformation, which we're going to get into now. I'm learning segues. Am I a real YouTuber yet? No, because I keep tripping over my own words. Anyway, go ahead. Get up under here on the little engine block and fold the hood open. Take these 2 little side panels here. They actually have little tabs right here that peg in right there. Just untab them and fold them up. Worth mentioning, on this figure, when you get it, you may need to file these tabs down ever so slightly. It's a little tricky to see on mine, but yeah, there is some stress marking going on right there. To be perfectly honest, there's 2 things you can do with this. You can either file these tabs down just a tiny bit, make them a little shorter and a little narrower, and you won't stress mark them. Or what I've seen a lot of people do is just straight up get some side cutters and cut them flat, because you don't really need them. So take your choice there. I'm choosing to do neither because I tend to forget to fold those out in the first place. And I only use vehicle mode for storage. When a figure is out, I put them in robot mode. So there's your list of options there. Wow, this figure comes with a lot of options, doesn't he? But anyway, go ahead, do that. Then what you're going to do is take the arms, bring them down ever so slightly, which can be a little tricky to do. But you're going to bring them down to untab the forearm right there from right underneath the hood. Then you can eventually wiggle this all free. Just bring that down, get it out of the way. Quite a bit easier to do the second one after you've done the first one. Take the legs back here. Just kind of give them a little bit of a wiggle, and eventually they will pop free from this spoiler section. They do only tab in on the sides there. I know there's little tabs coming down from the spoiler, and there's those holes there. They're not actually plugging into anything. It's just kind of helping make it look more solid. Go ahead, do that. Fold the hood or the spoiler up. Rotate it around. Just kind of leave it there for a bit. For the legs, this can be a little bit tricky. The clearance isn't the best, but work with it. You can get it. But you're going to kind of bring them out to a splits like that. Fold this section out. Straighten the leg out. And worth paying attention to when you're going into vehicle mode, this is a double hinge. You want to fold the legs up like that so that you're only bending at this hinge right here. Otherwise, it will not work. But go ahead, do that. Fold out the foot. Take this piece, fold it in. It does sort of tab in right there. It's a very minor tab, but it's there. Go ahead, collapse it up. Fold this all up like that. And then it'll all tab in. Same thing over here. Get this open. Bring it down. I'm switching my personal vision from between camera and figure. So if I go off camera a little bit, I apologize. For a long time, I've been not going to do Studio Series figures because they're extra complicated. This one, I feel like doing. But yeah, I'm going to watch him very closely while I do. Anyway, once the legs are done, go ahead, rotate the torso right there. Go ahead, bring this whole section back. Flip up the head. Going to get the arms out of the way here so we can actually take this section here. This will... Nope, I'm thinking of the wrong step. Abort. It's pinned on right there, and I looked at that. I'm like, oh yeah, you rotate that around. No, you don't rotate it around there. I'm going to go bring all of this stuff as out of the way as you can and rotate around right there. That's the part that rotates around. Then fold that up. Fold this all down like that. Bring this up, and these two little tabs right there will peg in to the chest. Keep everything straight. Go ahead and bring this up all the way, and there's a little tiny notch right there that will tab on there. Like that. Then go ahead, fold this panel up, rotate the exhaust panel around, and then while it doesn't peg into there, this piece will just sort of sit into that ever so slightly to keep the arm in place. Same thing over here. Bring that out, rotate around, and get that little piece in the back. And there you finally have your Studio Series 86 Hot Rod in robot mode. And I really am impressed with this robot mode. Bring him in close here so you can see that is a fantastic head sculpt. Really nice detail all over. Really clean looking transformation. Yeah, this thing is good. Posability on him also pretty good. You've got the transformation panel down there, as well as the actual ball joint in the neck, so you get a good range of up and down. Get some side to side rotation. So he ends up being one of those figures that's very expressive in the head. Shoulders can rotate up. Looks a little weird when they do because of where the joint is, but they've got the upward motion. There is a full rotation if the spoiler isn't getting in the way. Got a rotation just above the elbow. You've got a pretty deep elbow bend. Got a wrist swivel. You have an opening hand, which will come into play later. Got a waist rotation. Kicks forward. Kicks back a little bit. Not much, but some. Does the splits. There is a thigh swivel right there. Double jointed knee, so you end up with good bit of range there, depending on how you want it. Ankle tilt, feet can go forward, back. So, the posability right there already is pretty good. But then he starts busting out extras. For one of the classic things about Hot Rod was his flip-down visor. He has that. He actually has a flip-down visor on a figure this small. Looks like I may have partially... Nope. I think it's just a trick of the light. Mine looks ever so slightly on the wonk, but I think that's just my lighting being uneven and making it look weird. So he's got the flip-down visor. Then, when you come to his arms, you can actually open them up. And on this arm, you get the little repair probe that he uses in the movie to put Cup back together after a certain scene. We will look at Sergeant Cup at some point here. I do have him. Then on this hand, go ahead, open this up, which can... There we go. Rotate it around. Make sure the fist is closed all the way. Close that up. And you get a peg. Clearly, this is meant for the saw blade. which is my favorite accessory this guy has. I love the saw blade hand. But this also opens him up to a lot of potential fun with battleizers and weaponizers and modulators and fossilizers and all kinds of izers that they have in the toy line right now. So there's a lot of fun to be had with this guy. And then the most important part, go ahead, switch this all around. Yes, because of all the posability he's got, he can do the thing. Let's get him looking up as best we can. See, I think the hand's about there. Open the hands up. Yes, everyone already knows where this is going, but we're going there. This will also give me a chance to really quickly... We've got the blast effect for the little matrix here. You want to take the matrix facing that way. And there's these little notches right there. Just slide that all together. Like so. Then drop this down in his hands. I know I have him holding it Tron style, not actually, Light Our Darkest Hour style. If you haven't noticed, my channel has kind of a Tron theme. Of course, I'm going to do this Tron style. But yeah, I think that right there sells. This is a figure that his price point is weird. I can understand some people not wanting to pay the extra for it because he does cost extra. I completely believe that he justifies that extra, though. This is a fantastic figure. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. If Hasbro brought the rest of the deluxe class line up to this quality, go ahead, give us fewer accessories. I appreciate the pile of accessories we got here. But if they want to just make deluxes $25 and make them of this quality, I wouldn't complain. This is really, really good in my opinion. And yeah, I fully recommend him. So, thank you guys for watching. And remember, Hotrod did not kill Optimus Prime. A suit at Hasbro killed Optimus Prime because they wanted you to buy more figures.